don't think this is showing up.
What really was the point of me spending $20 in the Las Vegas airport for this alien glow-in-the-dark t-shirt if it's not even gonna glow in the dark on camera? Why don't people like The Sims 4? That's the title of the video. And that's also what I'm going to be discussing today. I have been a fan of the Sims series since I was like 5 years old, back when Sims 1 was the only Sims game out. I spent hours and hours and hours just killing Sims in the pool or setting them on fire by like blowing up some fireworks in their kitchen, you know, kid stuff. I remember playing The Sims 2, and there were so many things specifically I remember that I wanted to see in The Sims 3 when it came out. And then when The Sims 3 came out, everything I wanted was there. I wanted open world. I wanted more customization in terms of what colors things could be. I wanted more customization for my Sims. And then in The Sims 3, you know, from The Sims 2, you got upgrades in Create a Sim with being able to choose shoes separately, choose a bunch of different jewelry from the get-go. A lot of new stuff was added, and all stuff that I was wanting from the packs before. But I'm back in Sims 2 that obviously you can't just jump from not open world to open world in expansion packs, you know. So things like that were things I was really excited for when The Sims 3 came out. And then when they announced The Sims 4, it was kind of like, I think I'm good. I got everything I wanted. So let me see something new and different. And that's not what we've gotten. Sims 4 just released their latest stuff pack, which is Tiny House Living, which I was actually really excited about. I love tiny homes. I love watching like tiny homes on HGTV, and I love all the drama of people wanting to have tiny houses, but they also want room for entertainment. It's just the kind of pickiness I like to see in a reality TV show. Like someone complaining about how their tiny home doesn't have enough room for guests. And it's like, yeah, Deborah, it's a tiny home. There's not enough room for more than one person. You got 6 kids and you're complaining that there's not a dining room table for your guests. There's not a dining room table for your 6 children. And I feel like the tiny home stuff pack is a real nice microcosm. There's a SAT word for you today. A nice microcosm of why the Sims 4 series has not been working for myself and for a lot of other lifetime Sims players. And that mostly has to do with the fact that starting out, The Sims 4 was not offering anything new, really. I think the things I was really excited about when The Sims 4 was originally announced were emotions and the advancements to Create a Sim and build mode. The fact that you can move a whole house on a lot and move it and reposition it. And the Create a Sim additions with being able to move the face around. I know a lot of people did not like the fact that there weren't visual sliders. Of course, there are sliders in terms of the limitations that you can do with the face and the body, but the fact that you could edit the body specifically, make larger arms or feet or hands or, you know, a nice large ass. But the thing is, now we are many expansion stuff and game packs into this game, and those are really the only things I still like about the game, and really the only things that set it apart and are new from the previous games. The emotion system just does not have the amount of depth that you would expect from how much they relied on using emotions for marketing the game before it even released. That was the big selling point, and I feel like it's just not that fleshed out. It's very limited. It's very simple. It doesn't really affect gameplay that much. I do like things where if your sim is sad, they can cry in their bed about it. I really relate to that. I like when Sims, if they're angry, they can go blow off steam by like working out. I cannot relate to that. I don't work out, don't go to gyms, don't know what that's like. But those aspects of emotion are things that really fascinate me, and I just wish they could have done more with. And I feel like that's the crux of the problem with The Sims 4 is there are great ideas and concepts and very little execution. Just bare bones execution. It's there. You can definitely say emotions are in The Sims 4, but do they affect gameplay in a way that's interesting, in a way that we haven't seen before, or in a way that's better than what we've seen before? Not really. I truly think the moodlet system, The Sims 3, is still superior. But like I said, the problem really is that it's just a good idea that's not fleshed out. I think a great way to compare The Sims 4 and what kind of went wrong versus the other Sims games is looking at their system of expansion packs. But with game packs now being included into the roster along with expansion and stuff packs, the lines between the three got really sort of faded, and we ended up piecemealing a lot of things. Vacation theme packs, I think, is a really good example. In The Sims 1, it was Sims Vacation, where you had the option to go on vacation with your Sims and either a mountainous region or a beach region, all in the same world, but different points on the map. In The Sims 2, we got Bon Voyage. We got 3 different worlds to visit, all with 3 different themes, where we got a Far East Asian themed, which that's great. Just lump in all the Asian countries as just one thing, because you know they definitely don't have any distinct cultures between the countries or anything. And we had a beach resort one and then a mountain resort one as well. That's kind of a theme throughout all of them. Then in Sims 3, we got 3 different worlds. A fictionalized version of Egypt, a fictionalized version of France, and a fictionalized version of China. And then in the 4th game, we didn't just get one type of vacation pack. We got 2 and kind of 3-ish. First being Outdoor Retreat, where your Sims were able to visit a different world and go and camp. And then in Jungle Adventure, you were able to go to a jungle world, again, visit different hotels to stay at, different lodging to stay at. And then sort of with Island Living, where Island Living really pulls more from Island Paradise in The Sims 3. There are a lot of aspects of the other vacation packs that we've seen before that were added into Island Living. Kind of the stuff that Jungle Adventure and Outdoor Retreat didn't have were kind of pushed to be included with Island Living. But the thing is, with those adventure, vacation, expansion packs in The Sims 4, they're much more limited than what we saw in The Sims 3, and slightly even more limited than what we saw in The Sims 2. In The Sims 2 with Bon Voyage, you had the ability to go to 3 different types of worlds in one pack. You had different styles of rooms, of clothing to match the different worlds. You had different activities to do in each of them. It was a real different experience to visit each of these worlds, and it was something that your Sim could achieve to do. And out of the 2 adventure, vacation, travel packs that we got with The Sims 4, even combined, you're really not getting as much content as you did with the 1 expansion pack back in Sims 2. Outdoor Retreat is very limited. Really all you can do is what's in your lot, and then there's the forest you could explore, but everything else is just a rabbit hole or just nothing. Same thing with Jungle Adventure. Jungle Adventure was a serious disappointment to me. I was a big fan of World Adventures, which is not a commonly held opinion in the Sims community. Liked all the gameplay that it included. It lived up to the name. You traveled around the world and you went on adventures. And even though it wasn't something that we'd really seen in The Sims before, with like more RPG elements introduced, I really enjoyed those. And they weren't going to be included in every single save file I did. Not every Sim I created is going to be like an Indiana Jones, Lara Croft type, going through tombs and fighting off mummies and whatnot. But still, the ability to go and, you know, have your Sim go to, you know, the French countryside and go to a nectary and, you know, do wine tasting and then go to, you know, the little market and buy local books and local cuisine. Like, all those little things I really loved about the pack. Going forward to Sims 4, you did have some elements of that. I really liked that the local culture was a skill that was added. And having the local cuisine is cool, and being able to meet locals is all very interesting. But the adventure and the jungle part of Jungle Adventure were both missing. I mean, there is a jungle. You can see it. Your Sims can go in it, but then it's just cards that pop up and it's just the prompt. Kind of like when your Sim goes to work and you get a prompt. And that's really it. There really isn't that much to do. And after your Sim goes once or twice, it's kind of get boring. I never actually went more than once with one of my Sims. Even though I played hours and 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 hours of The Sims 3, I still have not completed nearly all the stuff that there is to do in World Adventures in terms of exploring all the tombs and getting all the artifacts. But with The Sims 4, I haven't completed it either, but I have no desire to. There's not that much exploring, there's not the adventure. It's just kind of half-assed, which is a theme. If it was one expansion pack that kind of had that, which I feel like with The Sims 3, I think Into the Future.
Also, Showtime should have just been included within late night. It should not have been its own pack.
Was the one expansion pack that was like very cool idea, not as cool execution, but also that was the last pack of The Sims 3, and I think they were kind of running out of ideas. And so going into The Sims 4, they still did not have ideas. They didn't have any more ideas, and so they're rehashing old ones. And if you're making remakes and you're making redos, you gotta at least make it better than the original, or else what is the point? If you're making expansion packs that were better done back in 2005 with The Sims 2, you're missing the mark here, especially when you're charging $50 for them. You gotta make it worth my money. That's a lot of money to drop on something that really is not gonna give me that much gameplay. I better be hooked on it for weeks when a new expansion pack comes out. I better be like just bedridden, just video game playing to the wee hours of the morning, not getting any sleep because of an expansion pack. But with The Sims 4, you can pretty much play all the new expansion pack stuff within an afternoon. The one thing I really miss from the other Sim games that Sims 4 doesn't have is the storytelling. It was best done in The Sims 2. Playing it again now, finally able to play it again on my laptop after many, many years of not being able to, I really see like all the storytelling, and I'm more aware of it than I was as a kid. Of course I saw things as a kid, like the stories with the Goths and all the Calientes and all those connections. Really seeing them now, appreciating them more, just the amount of thought that went into all of that, where when you start up a town, there's already so much drama you can just get into. And what is the point of playing with The Sims if you're not going to make your own little mini soap opera? Honestly, that is all I ever do. I kill Sims in the pool and I make a soap opera out of their life. That is it. That is my MO in the game. So when Sims 4 came along and there wasn't really any of the story, it just felt empty. With the memory system in The Sims 2, you really, your Sims have history and you can track it easily. The Sims 2 had a really nice system of memories where it was, you know, they could remember who taught them how to walk, who taught them how to talk, when their first kiss was, when they were in a relationship, anytime they make friends, anytime they meet anyone, if they get divorced, if they get married, if they get a job, if they get fired. All of those things are marked, and it's very simple. There's not an image with it. You don't have to confirm it. You don't share it onto any social media platforms. It's just in the game for your reference. And I loved that in The Sims 2. So moving to The Sims 3, you had it still, you lost it a bit. You still had the drama happening in town. Things were already set up beforehand where people were friends, people were enemies. You had people who you did not want in the same room as each other. But going to The Sims 4, kind of lost all that. I really feel like it's really hard to have rivalries in the game, to have those sworn enemies. I think you can declare people a nemesis, but it never really came up as much. And there really wasn't any pre-made stories or connections that I really connected with, that were memorable. And if there are, again, they are not memorable. They might be there, but they don't have enough effect on the gameplay to do anything. But the family trees, they just don't work the same. And the fact that you can't from the get-go mark different relationships between Sims, at this point, it's just ridiculous. Like, that was something I really liked in The Sims 3, that you got more relationship options when you were creating your Sims. You got to say if they were fiance, if they were engaged, if they were just dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, or were they fiance, or were they siblings, or they spouses. There were a bit more things you could add just based off in the create a Sim. You didn't have to go out and then do all the effort to make them boyfriend, girlfriend. They could just be boyfriends, girlfriends starting off the bat. And then in The Sims 4, you just have one or two options, or three options, I guess, where they can be either married, siblings, or parent-child. That's it. That's really all you can make in Create a Sim, which I feel like at this point you should just be able to like drop-down menu. That's this person's aunt, their cousins. This is their boyfriend. This is their third cousin, twice removed. Like, what? Why not just have a plethora of different options for relationships at this point? That would be really cool. I think would help a lot in terms of the family tree dynamics. So to answer the question, why don't people like The Sims 4? It's complicated. It really is. I wouldn't say I don't like The Sims 4. I would say I'm just disappointed by it. I'm just let down by it. The Sims is a series that I've been playing since I was 4 years old, and the fact that this is now where it is, just, yeah, it's disappointing. I expected so much more from the series, especially now that we have the graphics capabilities that we do and things. There are so many more options that the game could have and could easily have. It's just not quite there. And in every single expansion pack and game pack and stuff pack that comes out, it's just like not quite there. The Sims 4, when it was released, the base game, they didn't have pools. They didn't have toddlers. And these were two things, pools especially. Pools are such a staple in the Sims series because, like I said before, killing Sims in The Sims 1, you put them in a pool, you take out the pool ladder, classic Sims. And so you start off The Sims 4 without pools. You're losing one of the essential building blocks of every Simmer's gaming experience, which is just to drown a Sim when you want to. And I feel like that's really reflective of how the game has progressed since then. Right from the beginning, we were already downgrading from the last game in a lot of ways, with not having an open world and not having toddlers and not having pools. It was just like the list just kept adding up of things we were missing. When you make a new game, one that's supposed to be better, you'd assume, than the previous installation of the series, you'd hope for more content, for better content, for the content you had before and then even more, or the content you had before but fleshed out more. We just never got that. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe down below, and let me know in the comments something you really like about The Sims 4 and also something you wish could be better. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend. I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye!